stay here. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want.
Assalamu alaikum. Somalia. Somalia.
Take me home. Take me home. Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time. This room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come. So gather up your jackets, move it to the exits. I hope you have found a friend. Closing time.
It's closing time for sure, and I'm almost 100% sure that one's going to piss off YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. I don't know, we can cut it out or whatever. Mark it as something like because of the music or something. I can't play it anywhere. Go ahead. We'll cut it out. It's okay. Powerful 6.3 earthquake hits the northern Afghanistan, killing 20 and injuring 640, at least so far. And by the way, it's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. We got a lot to cover. I didn't even want to spend any time getting into it. We got a lot to cover. Got some great video too. Quick plus minus as far as the stars are concerned. I just, sometimes it's nice to know there's a star that we can actually like because there's very few of them. Jennifer Lawrence might very well be one of them. Says criticizing Trump adds fuel to the fire, ripping the country apart. Celebrities don't make a difference on who people vote for. Yeah, she's right. Just make good movies, sweetheart. And she's, doing a good job. Now, we've talked some of the conspiracy stuff before. So I don't feel like this should be going on deaf ears or too woo for people. But you guys have heard of the possibility that sometimes the elite have to choose between sacrificing a child or transgendering a child. Well, gee whiz. Robert De Niro, who obviously is major TDS, but most of the people that have TDS have transgender child, someone that died, some other things that sometimes happen. So Aaron De Niro says Dad Robert De Niro has been nonstop supportive of his transition. I'm not sure if which direction he's going. I don't. They said his. There you go. I don't know. Now, the left is never accountable. You guys notice this? Never. It's never their fault. They never did anything. Who done it? Was you. It's never, ever, ever, ever their fault. Ever. It's pretty fantastic. Well, this auto pen debate, which is going to be a big deal because, well, frankly, some of them that are at fault are going to fall under this. Long story short of it all, there's issues, they think, with the legality of the auto pen. There's a number of cases that have happened back in the days that kind of deal with presidential authority needing to use the auto pen. Oddly, Obama was one of the key ones to really start using it, but he was out of town and on a vacation, which I sometimes wonder if those things were timed that way, right? But whatever the case, that's really where it started to become more of a popular thing. But ultimately, he was aware. That's really the key ingredient. Now, many are going to claim that Biden was aware. Biden's even, quote, claiming that he was aware, but we all know Biden's not aware of anything at all. In fact, it was almost sweet, the dude folding the flag. I almost felt like that was Joe Biden for a second. He almost forgot his dog. He almost hurt his dog. Again, it was beautiful, though. Fantastic. So this auto pen thing is going to, well, Trump has said already, made a statement. The person who was the real president was the auto pen, but he also said the pardons that Sleepy Joe Biden gave the unselect committee of political thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect. That's a legal term, or a group of legal terms, whichever. That's legit. Trump is making a statement as the commander-in-chief. Because of the fact that they were done by auto pen, which is where his argument is. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. The necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people may have committed a crime. Therefore, those on the unselect committee who destroyed and deleted all evidence obtained during their 2-year witch hunt of me and many other innocent people should fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. The fact is, they were probably responsible for the documents that were signed on their behalf without the knowledge or consent of the worst president in the history of our country, crooked Joe Biden. There's also 2 different auto pen versions, which I think is also interesting. So they've realized that. I don't know if this was like an attempt to change something so they wouldn't get caught, or if literally someone essentially tried to mimic his signature, because this is vastly different. The R is different. The H is different. This is a totally different person made up this signature. This is a forgery for sure that was then used by the auto pen. This is not Joe Biden's signature, and what I'm assuming this signature was actually his. And maybe that wasn't even true. Maybe one was by his wife and one was by his son. Who knows? Who knows? But these are definitely different signatures. So, if you use a dot and that's what you've done forever, you're not going to suddenly stop using a dot. It's like dot and an I. You just get used to it. Like, there's a letter in my name that I got to require some extra work on sometimes. I just do it. It's a habit. So Joe Biden, his pardons are kind of not legit. And how that happens legally is going to be very curious. Very curious. Supreme Court's going to be having a whole lot of fun, but once investigations happen and they're basically like, look, here's the thing, your pardons don't mean nothing. And I'm telling you, the investigations are already happening right now, currently, into Pencil Neck, into Cheney. They're happening, if not, far along. They're eventually going to put charges against them. And when they do, they're going to fight back and say, I've got a pardon. And then that's when the pardon lawsuit starts. That's when that whole process begins. Now, does that have to happen before the next election? No, I don't think so. Does the next election need to be secure? And that's kind of totally a separate situation? Yes. And just while we're on the subject, one thing that's been bugging me a lot is everybody's so worried about who the hell's going to run next term. Stop worrying about that, please, at least just for a year. Please. Like, who gives a fuck who's running as president next 3 years from now? Can we please focus on the problem at fucking hand? Please. And I don't mean to disrespect anybody out there that's, who's going to be president? Fucking who cares? If we don't wrestle control of our elections in this next election, we're fucked. It won't matter who the fuck's going to run. So we need to be on top of this. We need to be fucking sure we're getting safe elections, fair elections, and we continue to push for prosecution of the nonsense that's happened. Or we never get back what we're fighting for right now. So please, please stay focused on the problem at hand. Don't get too far outside. You're worried about shit that's not even an issue yet. It might be a problem, sure. If we don't get elections, if we don't do, trust me. New Orleans scraps a $125 million request after the state of Louisiana threatens to take it over. This is pretty funny. State's like, yeah, so we got a budget shortfall. We want to get bonds issued, for the city because we're down $125 million, but, we just wanted to borrow some. And the state's like, oh, okay, well, if that's what you think we need to do, then we're going to go ahead and take over control of your finances. And you're no longer going to be doing that. And we want to look into and audit every single thing that you've got happening because that's a lot of money. And the city of Nolens, yeah, right? They're like, we don't need the money, I guess. Then, see, they want the free money. They don't want to change anything. They don't want to be more responsible. They don't want to fix the budget holes. They want to borrow. Can't do that. Can't do that at all. You're screwing yourselves. It's like my parents. One thing I learned from my parents that you shouldn't do, that they do, that you shouldn't do, is you shouldn't treat your house as an ATM machine. That's not what it is. It's an asset, sure. If you continue to borrow off that asset, you got no asset anymore. You're upside down, you're broke. If anything happens in the housing market, you're done. I with the exception of when I paid my brother off and just the general little bits of money you sometimes get back when you refi just to get a better rate, I don't ever do it to pull money out and haven't. Almost had my condo paid off. I was stoked on it. Don't do that. It's bad advice. I learned not to. My parents still do it. They still do it. They'll pay off credit cards and stupid shit like that, and then they'll go and start racking those credit cards back up. My parents are old, and they're still working. It bums me out. My dad was in the mutual fund world. He knows all about how to, it just blows my mind. So again, this kind of thinking doesn't work. And Louisiana, thank God, has got obviously a governor that's not Democrat, because otherwise that would have gone differently. Gavin Newsom, just again, the hypocrisy is beyond words, beyond words, beyond words. Have I mentioned that?
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
Now, I'm reasonably sure that he's doing this to troll us. He's got that cute little girl face, right? You gotta love that. I had to actually edit myself. It was pretty bad, what I said. But funny, nonetheless, I think. But some of you guys might have been a little appalled. All said, nah, dude's a pile of trash. Mike Waltz reveals how Trump killed the global green tax. What a screwed us all. And he did it. And I think this is worth it because it does talk about a lot of the things that Trump's doing. It's talking about a lot of things that we are actually accomplishing. There's so many of us that are being cornered into lame ways of thinking, oh my God, who's going to be president? When you should be focused on what's actually happened so far, what we have actually accomplished, what is in process, what we're doing with elections, lots of stuff, but not something that's 3 years away. No. And they're going to start running in, 6 months anyway. And then the other argument, is Trump going to run again? Good God. Please, people, please, seriously. Please, give everything else a chance. I get inquiring minds, that's fine, whatever. But to actually be concerned, worried, thinking about outside of the video you might have watched, it's on you at this point. You need to stop that, please. We'll get there. We got so many other problems. It's like a multi-course meal, right? You're worried about dessert, and we're still worried about oh my God, the soup is hot. Or nuts. Well, it's soup to nuts. Yeah, nuts is the last thing you get, I guess. Get some roughage in you. Whatever. Off topic as always. This is a really good piece of interview action here. I'm going to play it at 1.25 speed for those of you already sped up.
They were this close to mandating that we basically have a Green New Deal in our global shipping fleet. 80% of our economy is based on trade. It would have been devastating. In fact, it would have added $1 billion a month to the cost of sending our goods around the world or receiving goods. And we got fired up as a cabinet. The EU, Brazil, and others thought this thing was a done deal. We got everybody involved, including the president. He came in off the top ropes, and we defeated that vote. And I think we just saved the American consumer a massive, what would have been the first UN tax in global history just this past week. So that's the kind of fighting that we're doing in the types of these organizations and the kind of wins that we have to deliver for the American people.
So it sounds like that in a case like this is why you don't just walk away from
that. Look, if we just walked away, they would have done it. We would have ignored it. But you know what? As whether it's our farmers exporting our crops or our manufacturers bringing in certain parts they need or what have you, everybody would have been affected. So I'm squarely in the camp of let's fight. Let's fight for the American consumer and the American people and American industry. And to the extent our economy is touching the world, we have to be engaged in these organizations.
So on the global maritime thing that we were talking about there in London, that I was going to ask about that in a little bit. But the what we saw is that they were very, very close to doing this. And then
it was from their perspective a done deal.
Right. So then Secretary Rubio and President Trump, yourself, all start sounding the alarm, and then you guys totally turn the tide against it.
It was also Secretary Duffy, Transportation, Secretary Wright, Energy, right? It was, of course, Secretary Rubio. It was really an across the board, a number of senators that were raising the alarm bells as well, especially with big ports and, where shipping and trade really matter to their states and districts. So it was one of those things that was kind of bubbling along and we're ringing the alarm bells. And then we just grabbed a hold of it, and the president brought what only he can do with a powerful truth. And this is what they're not used to with Biden and the previous administration. We said there will be consequences if you do this. And we laid out what those consequences were. Now, we were accused of being diplomatic gangsters and bullies and what have you. But look, you're just, in fact, it was they who were being the climate bullies, and we're not going to allow them to do that to our shipping fleet. And if it had happened, here was the real secret. The EU was subsidizing all the fuels, the biofuels that they wanted to push our ships to, and the only place we could retrofit our ships were in Chinese ports and shipyards. So this would have been a win for the EU, a win for China, a loss for the United States, and we said we're not going to have it, and we got in there and won.
So can you explain what would have been implemented had they done this? And then also, are we on guard? Are they going to try this again through this organization or through another one? And how do we protect
So essentially
this from
what would
happening?
have been implemented is if we had fossil fuel burning ships by a certain date, 5-10 years from now, starting next year, if we had, coal-fired, gas-fired, oil-fired ships, this global organization was going to impose a fine on those shipping companies, of course, and that would have been to the tune of $1 billion a month globally. That would have been passed on to the consumers, obviously, and that money then would have formed a UN-run green climate slush fund to the tune of 12 to 15 billion a year that would have turned around and done more and more of this. It really would have been the first global green tax, and I think we would have felt it through inflation, we would have felt it on our consumer shelves, and it would have been yet another assault on the American oil and gas industry.
Right, and so they're trying again?
Of course they're going to try again.
Yeah.
So because we came at this, frankly, a little bit last minute, we won, but we delayed the vote until next year. We're going to make our position crystal clear. And I don't think this thing's going to get through. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's what's happening in these over 80 organizations around the world. And what it really amounts to is a climate ideology that is nonsensical. It's an ideology that just doesn't make sense. For example, in AI, a big piece of that is power. You can't power AI through wind and solar. You just can't. And we already know the president's problems with wind. We already know that the vast majority of solar panels are made where? In China. But we need an all-of-the-above solution. We need nuclear, we need gas, we need oil, we need coal, and those other renewable forms and forms of energy in order to win. But what we find is even when we reach, say, some kind of trade deal with a country or with the EU, then they try to backdoor these regulations in favor of them and against us through these international organizations that are often under the UN umbrella. And that's why we need fighters in here. I have Tammy Bruce that will be going to the Senate to be the deputy ambassador here. We have myself and we have other members of the team that 100% believe in the President's America First agenda, and we're going to start fighting, blocking, and tackling in these organizations.
Yeah, it's super important that we do. And super important to realize that we're going to be doing that vote again in a year. So again, like I said, we got bigger problems in front of us before we got other things that we'd love to talk about. Florida man arrested for online posts threatening to kill ICE and Nazis. Not supposed to say that word, but that's what's in the story, folks. I'm just telling you, YouTube, I'm sorry. It's the way it is. But yeah, this guy was a little upset. And again, not trying to stir the pot, but these people, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to say threats. Not allowed to make videos with threats. You're not allowed to do any of that stuff. So again, just keep all these things in mind. Trump ICE raids, in Trump's opinion, haven't gone far enough.
More recently, Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out.
What's that song? Do 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 do. Right, they always play it at the end when he just like kind of drops the mic moment. The sunglasses guy in the background going, right? Like there's so many memes for it. I don't know that song, and it's really hard to search something. Do do do. Like try typing that out. See how far that gets you. It's not going to get you very far. I can promise you. I can promise you that much. But it's fun to try. I mean, A for effort. 42 million people in this country, at least, rely on SNAP benefits. There's a lot going on around this. It's a lot of people, and it's gone up insanely. That's one of the big things that are in here. Let's see, minute long. Which one's this minute long? All right, we're going to waste a couple minutes on this because, well, sometimes it's fun to piss people off. I got to be honest.
Okay, you guys, yes. I am a mother of 7 kids. 7 kids. I had my first child at 14 years old. Yes, I had my first child at 14 years old. I do not regret it. He is well, healthy, and he's 19 right now. God, praise God. Yes, you guys, I have 7 kids, 7 different baby daddies. Yeah, 7 different baby daddies. I heard it. You heard it right here. 7 different baby daddies, 7 kids. Had my first child at age 14. Yes, and I do receive 3K, 3,000 in EBT food stamps. Yes. We are so happy. We are so blessed. We are very thankful. Yes, we are happy where we're at in life right now. We are happy. Yes, we are happy. Yes. Like I said, it's gonna be haters, people gonna be jealous and all that. Y'all can keep y'all little comments, but at the end of the day, my kids are taken care of.
Now, you heard all of that yes stuff, right? That's the problem with this young lady. You need to learn how to say no. Just saying 7 different baby daddies? Okay. Hey, consistency? It's not all it's cracked up to be, that's for sure. Here's another lady making a bunch of money. This one, I guess, I don't know, doesn't fit the stereotype as much, and, well, will probably piss you off also.
For those of you laughing because I'm on welfare, I just want to show you something real quick. This is my upcoming pending deposit for SNAP EBT for November. If you are laughing at me right now because you think that I'm going to suffer come November, you better think again. I know how to work the system into my favor. I know how to get what I want. I have multiple sources of income, and that's where a lot of you go wrong. You rely on one source of income. But if you had multiple, if something like this were to happen where EBT gets shut down, you still have your other sources of income. But regardless, I'm still gonna get my EBT money for November. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm gonna get mine, and that's that. Love you.
Yeah, love you too. Thanks. No. Yeah. Wow. She was a looker, Just wouldn't call me back. Sorry. So yeah, this guy, he's good stuff. He reminds me of the dude that says stuff to his wife, but it's probably not him. There's shorts I find that are just hilarious. Judge praises Trump over the SNAP funding, sets Monday deadline for payments. This happened already as far as recording is concerned. They were just hearing the case, so I don't think it's done yet by any means. I will probably want to listen to it personally. This one will be kind of interesting. The tariff one's coming up too. That's the one I really want to listen to. In fact, I probably will during the day. It'll be a great day to do that. But court greatly appreciates the president's quick and definitive response to this court order. Yeah. Trump's like, hey, look, if you guys can figure out how we legally can do it, because this is what we're reading in the law. It says we can't. And you guys are saying we have to. And we're like, all right, just tell me how we're supposed to do that legally. And off we'll go. We'll waste that $6 billion. We'll blow it. Now, what they say, though, is that'll literally last us about 3/4 of the month. I'm not sure what happens there. Maybe the new rules go into effect and we manage to save enough money to where that $6 billion is enough to cover the entire month for people that are eligible. Not sure. We will see and we will hear for sure. Trump truthed this out. Next week's case on tariffs is one of the most important in the history of this country. If a president is not allowed to use tariffs, we will be at a major disadvantage against all other countries throughout the world, especially the majors. In a true sense, we would be defenseless. Tariffs have brought us great wealth and national security in the 9 months that I've had the honor to serve as president. The stock market has hit all-time highs many times during my short time in office, with virtually no inflation, and national security that is second to none. Our recent successful negotiation with China and many others put us in a strong position only because we had tariffs with which to negotiate fair and sustainable deals. If a president was not able to quickly and nimbly use the power of tariffs, we would be defenseless, leading perhaps even to the ruination of our nation. The only people fighting us are foreign countries who for years have taken advantage of us. Those who hate our country and the Democrats because our numbers are insurmountably good. I will not be going to court on Wednesday in that I do not want to distract from the importance of this decision. It will be, in my opinion, one of the most important and consequential decisions ever made by the United States Supreme Court. If we win, we will be the richest, most secure country anywhere in the world, by far. If we lose, our country could be reduced to almost third world status. Pray to God that doesn't happen. Easy way to envision it. If you want to do it without any doubts in your mind, I would do it and just imagine an 8-1 victory, 8-1 decision. You'll see it. And it'll be great when Ketanji Jackson Brown disagrees, when Jumanji jumps out there and says, no, and here's why. Of course, right, because she's a total commie. We're going to get rid of her, don't worry. But that, guys, this has to play out for others. This is a point I saw recently, or heard recently, that made a lot of sense. I'm like, I need to remind people of that too, because that's a good point. Like, a lot of us are like 45 steps ahead of people behind us, right? Like, way ahead of them, right? So when we see stuff, we're like, that's bullshit. We're expecting more. But you forget the messages for the people behind you, not you. That wasn't for you. Keep wearing your flashlight the way you're supposed to, okay? Don't worry about their messaging sometimes. Worry about what you're here doing, right? A big part, at least my audience, right? Make sure you stay on the prize. And yeah, sometimes messaging's not for us. It is, I mean, it's hard to remember that sometimes, I think. Trump tariffs is going to face Supreme Court scrutiny as expected on the 5th, which would be 2 days from now. Today's 3rd. You're never supposed to date your videos, but I do 6 a week, so it's good to let people know this is the video I made on the 3rd. I created it on the 3rd. There's a website so notorious for taking old ass Juan O'Savin videos and posting them way forever ago. Back when he was sick even. You're just they're still replaying those like they're new. Putting stupid crazy clickbait titles on them. Oh, it's impressive. It's impressive how it works. I'm losing faith in some, that's for sure. But for the most part, I think we're doing all right. Trump's power is going to impose its sweeping tariffs, right? So this is what everyone's freaking out about. Whatever the case is, we're going to do more than that. Fixing healthcare is something Trump was asked about on this interview that I actually want to watch the whole thing of.
I was looking into it. 3/4 of these people will see their healthcare premiums double. Live in states where you won in the last election. I mean, even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm saying we can fix it, Nora.
You have helped end these government shutdowns in the past when they came about, and you did it by bringing.
I'm very good at it,
you
but I'm not going to do it by. I'm not going to do it by extortion. I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way. There's something wrong with these people.
So then what happens on November 15th when the troops don't get a paycheck?
Schumer is a basket case, and he has nothing to lose. I just left Japan. He's become a kamikaze pilot.
Sounds like it's not going to get solved, the shutdown.
It's going to get solved, yeah. Oh, it's going to get solved.
How?
We'll get it solved. Eventually, they're going to have to vote.
You're saying the Democrats will capitulate?
I think they have to. And if they don't vote, that's their problem. Now, I happen to agree to something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different nuclear, by the way. It's called ending the filibuster.
Which, again, I'm not fond of. But that might, I don't know, whatever. I don't know. I'm along for the ride for the most part right now, guys. I think Trump is definitely leading the way in the right way. Will he make some mistakes? A few maybe, but I think for the most part, no. He's getting us where we need to go. And he's doing it right. And what this really comes down to, for the most part, is why I talk about it frequently, is getting the optics, the people to hear it, simmering it. You've got to get that temperature up on stuff. That's a big part of what we do. We simmer. We're the ripplers. The ripplers are the energies, right? And we create noise. That noise creates attention. We are making a difference. Most people want free shit, first off, and getting promised free shit like Mom Donnie's doing right now, which isn't the video I've got yet. Here's Elon Musk. It's 3 minutes worth it. He was on Joe Rogan. He's talking to why Doge, just point of the thumbnail, why Doge was really shut down. We're getting the boy back that we missed. That's for sure.
That's the nature of the scam. It's a bank shot. So then the rebuttal from the Dems is like, oh, well, the vast majority of the people who are marked as live in the Social Security Administration weren't receiving Social Security Administration payments. That is true. What they forgot to mention is they're getting fraudulent payments from every other government program. And that's why the Dems were so opposed to turning off, to declaring someone dead who was dead, because it would stop the entire all the other fraud from happening.
And so, but all this, is it trackable? Like all this other fraud, if
totally
they wanted
trackable.
to, they could chase it all down.
Yeah, it's not even hard.
And yet they're opposing chasing it all down.
They're opposing chasing it all down because it turns off the money magnet for the illegals.
Wow.
Because it's very logical to like I'm saying the most common sense things possible. If someone's got a birthday in Social Security that is an impossible birthday, meaning they are older than the oldest living American or were born in the future, then you should call them and say, excuse me, we seem to have your birthday wrong, because it says that you're 200 years old. That's all you need to do. And
then you would remove them from the Social Security database and make that number no longer available for all those other government payments.
Exactly.
Wow. And how much money are we talking?
It's hundreds of billions of dollars.
And this is all traceable. Like you could hunt all this down.
Like you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes here, is what I'm saying.
Well, we
don't need to call Sherlock Holmes for this one.
Is this part of
We just need to call the person and say, excuse me, we seem to have the we must have your birthday wrong because it says you're 200 years old or were born in the future. So could you tell us what your birthday is? That's all you need to do. It's that simple.
But all these other government payments that are available that are connected to the Social Security number, it seems like if you just chased that all down, you would find the widespread fraud. You would find where it's going.
Yes, but the root of the problem is the Social Security Administration database, because the Social Security number in the United States is used as a de facto national ID number. You know, that's why, like, the bank always asks for your social. So, like, any financial institution will ask for your Social Security number.
It sounds so insane that this isn't chased down. I mean,
I agree.
That in and of itself that's such mishandling.
Yes. No, it's mind blowing. So yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you were.
One of the big parts that we've also got to pay attention to with that, and this is the key, is the Social Security. They're creating them for illegals. They're giving them because they need them. It's a number, right? And maybe they give them some weird number for most of them. There's also a lot of fake ones. There's places where others are using them. Multiple places are feeding them. There's also places where, whatever. So you you need to isolate these numbers, find out which ones are legit, which ones need to be shut down and reissued. And the key is the second a Social Security number is created in the Social Security database. This is the key. Please understand this. The second you create the Social Security number in the Social Security database, that creates a job that pushes it off to all the other agencies. Those other agencies never look back at Social Security's database to see if someone's been removed. Well, maybe they do. But no one ever gets removed from the Social Security database until now. But this creates instant payments from WIC, from whatever's. I don't even know. I don't know them. I don't know all the different things. But they're instantly in all those things. And this is how these people are scamming the system. They manufacture Social Security numbers in the Social Security database, create all this fictional bullshit, and collect the funds. They're never going to tell us how big this is and how many, there's cases, and I don't have specifics, right? I'm just going to make up numbers, but whatever. But I guarantee there's cases where there's individuals that have 1,000+ Social Security numbers feeding straight to them, or companies, whatever. 1,000+ Social Security numbers, different programs, WIC, food stamps, all that bullshit. And they switched EBT to actual numbers so you can use it, you can sell them, you can do whatever. It's become a huge industry. Selling our tax dollars. It's very easy to find. That Social Security number is everything. That's why they don't want to let go of them. That's why they don't want us fixing or deleting or, deactivating any of them. This is, folks, nobody appreciates the size of this. I mean, there's very few that do. There's definitely some out there that do. But most, I would say 90 plus percent of content creators. And I'm sure I'm ignorant in many cases too. Don't get me wrong. Gotta know your weaknesses. There we go. It's finally updated. I was wondering. Gold and silver. Gold's up a little, which is fine. I get flattened out a little bit, which I think is great. So 48 seems to be kind of the little sweet spot right now for silver. It's going down a little right now, but whatever. Crude oil's up. That's kind of weird. It's up at 61, which is kind of high because I've been following this a little bit. I broke through the 60 barrier, which was supposed to be the end of the world. Doesn't seem to be. None of this stuff's. The stock market's all fake. I don't know if you guys realize. It's a bunch of bullshit. Price of gold and silver is real. I mean, on the stock market, it's not really. I should go to Kitco. It's that's where everyone, I think, straight up. I don't know why it's like blocking me. That's pretty funny. Literally, it wouldn't just auto-populate. I've been to the site before on this computer. Oddly. Let's see, metals. I think it's where we want to go. I forget what it is. There it is. Base metals. This is the guy. No. Precious metals. That one. Sorry, guys. Sucking here, but this is legit real life. All right, so this is really what matters. Gold bid ask. So it's at 4,000. The stock shows 4,015. They don't usually match. And two, 47,980. Silver's usually quite a bit off. Yeah, 4804. Yeah, and silver's saying 47 here. So again, they're not. And I've seen them significantly off. This is, I was expecting to make a bigger point, but it didn't play out that way. Needless to say, it doesn't matter. Price of gold and silver at a good place. Stock market's at the best place. Inflation's still going up. Slower, though. Thank God. Trump's in there. We know the Fed's got to be taken down at some point. I don't know what that is. I don't know when, but there's got to be something to it, right? Or we're just going to have some bankruptcies that are going to start happening in cities like LA where pensions can't be paid anymore or something, right? There's going to start to be this breakdown that happens, and that's going to be the thing that snaps it. Now, whether that's 10 days of darkness at that point, we're already seeing a lot of movement of National Guard moving into cities, quick reaction forces, 500 people plus, right? All of this stuff is being put together. We've got this other situation with Venezuela where we've got essentially naval vessels on both sides of the Panama Canal. China's probably seconds away from doing the Taiwan thing. I think we're aware they're going to do it, and I think that's why we're placing the vessels we have as close to Panama as we do, because the second they do anything with Taiwan, we're immediately going to block Panama Canal. They won't be able to use it at all anymore. And they won't be able to do a friggin' thing about it. We're also taking care of some of the cartel business that's going on within our own continent. Shizzle's going to get weird. And there's geo factors and black swan events that we're not even aware of. We know there's a lot of stuff they're trying to do, and I think actually they've failed in many cases. FBI's caught a bunch of stuff that was supposed to be mass shootings. They're already starting to catch some of these things. I actually think we're doing much better, especially as we stay focused in a positive way. Whatever the case is, the Fed's got to go down. Federal Reserve got to go. It's as much federal as Federal Express, right? Like they say. So understand that. Get out of their system. That's all I say, Get out. We've got a special deal going on this month only. This month only, November. Well, I hope anyways. We'll see. This month, exclusive offer for my listeners. Deal of the month, November only. Qualified accounts with Gold Co. through, of course, my special link, drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com, right? You're going to get 1% bonus silver from me to you. From me to you. 1% silver because I love you. It's a way to give back to you loyal listeners, right? You guys especially. Act now. This is for sales at close. Literally, they have to close this month. This stuff takes 2-3 weeks. You want to get the ball rolling, get the information in there, whatever, get the phone call, take it. It's cool. Just be like, all right, I got to get, what do I need to get? Like, just get, be on it. It's going to mostly depend on you. If you've got all your stuff together and then they can, it's easier and they can DocuSign and all that. Read the documents, make sure you understand what's going on. There's a lot of steps to this. But one thing, you're going to get tax-free, penalty-free, moving your money sideways into a trust. It's physical metals, tax-free, penalty-free. Okay, so you're going to get as much as you can in the big picture. If you had those metals sent to you, that's cashing out. There's no way to get the metals sent to you immediately without cashing out. That means you're paying penalties and tax. Maybe they can limit that in some way in some companies. But Goldco's going sideways with it. You're going to get more of it. And later on down the road, if you want to have them sent to you. And you don't have to wait that long. Again, I'm not recommending that. Also, Goldco would never recommend that. But they're going to get you as much as they can, tax-free, penalty-free, for you from your 401k. It's your buying power, too. It's the important part. So you're going to get tax-free, penalty-free. You're going to get up to 10% free silver from Goldco. That's a sweet spot because there's a multiplier with the silver. And I'm giving you a percent silver. So up to 11%, but I'm giving you 1% for sure for you guys. So it's up to 11% free silver. It's like one of those things where like they're matching you. It's like, dude, you got to take advantage of this because we don't know how much time we got before things get a little freaky, right? You're also going to possibly get this Ronald Reagan coin. Most likely you're going to get it, but if not, they got some sort of cool collectible. It's a half ounce. It's just, 0.999% pure. It's cool. It's just a cool coin. You probably don't want to use it or spend it or be like, I'm rich. It's just cool. Like, I love these coins. I love having two silvers just because of the noise they make. I love that noise. It's how I always found them. I worked cash for so many years. And I'd find silver and like, oh, silver's in there. Like you could hear it. Ting, it's like, ah. So there's just a beauty about it. I love gold and silver. Always have. It's going to protect us. This is not where you want to go when everything's good. This is where you go when things suck. And things are sucking soon. Get out of there. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get that extra 1% while you can. I love you guys. Go to DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. And get the freak out of their system. Get your money away from them. They can't do stuff with it. They can't steal it anymore. It's yours now. That's what's cool. It's not contracts. It's physical gold. It's yours. Trump DOJ intervenes in a long simmering election integrity dispute over the 2020 election in Georgia. There's records that were just never given. They're trying to hide on this. Well, we only have to keep them for 22 months. But the thing is they've been involved in lawsuits and stuff, so it had to be held. So there's records. And they're, I think, trying to get around that giving of those records because they're like, well, we only have to hold them for 22 months. But yeah, this is from a case. And they're like, doesn't matter. They're election records. They're not saying that at all in this article. I'm just telling you that I think is what's really going on there. And so the government, federal government's gotten involved, and they're basically saying, like, Harmeet, Dylan, I hope I'm saying her name right. I mean, she's a sweet lady, I guess. I've never met her. She is like, dude, you guys got to give us this stuff that you've been subpoenaed, you've been told by the court, you have to give it. Like, yeah, what's up? So now it's coming from a bigger dog. We'll find what happens, right? More than 41,000 Wisconsin voter registrations don't match driver ID database. 41,000. That's a lot of shifting, and think about multiple mail-in ballots. It's one of the things we do here in California for sure. One individual can get multiple ballots sent to them. I've got one ballot. They somehow know with me. I don't know what it is. Or it's just because I'm in Orange County and they follow the rules here. I don't know what it is. Whatever. 41,000 Wisconsin voter registrations. They don't match their driver ID database. So who are you? Why? GOP New York City mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa. Is it Sliwa or Silwa? Whatever. Sliwa. Wow, it's probably right. If Zoran gets elected, life will never be the same again. So what I think is funny about this, and it is what it is. I mean, there's truth to it to a degree. But there's this extremity, like, there's literally a waterfall and you're going to die. And people are like, but I get free shit, though. I get a TV. So, I don't know. Again, this is one of those things where I'm just watching it from a distance. I don't live in New York. For those of you that do, well, New York City proper, I always think of my girl, Dolly, out there. Dolly, sweetie. No. Like, what are you doing? Manhattan's a horrible place. I'm sorry. I've been there. I don't care. Everyone's like, I love it. It's great. It's like it's a forest of buildings. It's like you can't even see the sky anymore. You gotta go straight up to see the sky. It's so weird and loud as hell. Whatever. I'm just a dick. Can't have so many people love it, man. I'm sorry. I know. I'm not trying to pee on any of you guys, unless you want me to. That's not what I'm trying to do, though. But you guys are about to, like, literally vote in a communist. It's like, I mean, fuck, I got a communist pretty much, well, now, communist moving centrist somehow. Well, LA is certainly communist. I don't know, Gavin Newsom's, he's played his cards pretty smart most of the time. All said, whatever. Trump's said it's gonna be hard giving money to New York now that they're communists. Well, if they become, we'll see.
But what if Mandami becomes mayor?
It's going to be hard for me as the president to give a lot of money to New York because if you have a communist running New York, all you're doing is wasting the money you're sending there. So I don't know that he's won, and I'm not a fan of Cuomo one way or the other, but if it's going to be between a bad Democrat and a communist, I'm going to pick the bad Democrat all the time, to be honest with you.
And I said that before, and this is where the game, like someone sent me something, and I'm not trying to be mean to you, the person, like it's not like that. Sometimes you just guys spark weird shit when you send me shit. But they're like, Massey's, I don't know if this was their spin, but, he's votes no all the time because he's all about foreign funding, right? So if there's any foreign funding involved at all, then he's like a vote no. And I'm like, that doesn't matter. Like, I don't care. Like, life is far more complex than that. Here's an example. Can't believe he's voting for or telling a Democrat should win. That's the problem with our side. Well, frankly, we're half retarded. They're fully retarded. We're half retarded. I think we should never give ourselves too total much credit because there's a bunch of us that are just like, what? I don't know. I like the taste of crayons. Like, it's something weird. I don't know what it is. We're not all perfect, okay? God's creatures. It's an important thing to remember. But he's like, dude, Cuomo's way better than this fuckface, right? Like, Mamdani, you're right. I think that's mean to talk about fuckfaces with your girl here. Nancy Pelosi, California, reportedly will not seek re-election in 2026. I mean, I can't even imagine what's going to try to replace her, but pterodactyl or I don't know, fucking some weird. It'll be obviously that we've got a fucking reptilian. For those of people voting in Jersey and Virginia, governor, attorney general, or any other position, please remember this. A Republican vote means a drastic drop in energy prices. Just a lot. There was a lot of stuff I wanted to cover for elections, but we're way long. Pennsylvania, November 4th, you can bring the rule of law. This is important, though. This one, stand up for the rule of Constitution. There are 3 radical Democrat Supreme Court justices. You might remember some of their names. They're on your ballot. Vote no, no, no on all these bastards. Donahue, Doherty, and Wecht. W-E-C-H-T. If you're a Pennsylvanian, you've definitely got to vote. You got important stuff. Now, for everybody out there that is... that's going to vote. Please go vote. First off, if you're Republican, we need to badly. Trump's actually got a whole crap ton of people called out. I was initially going to go through it, but there are so many. So scroll through. Tennessee's in here. Texas is in here. Ohio is in here. Pennsylvania's in here. Michigan, a whole bunch. Whatever. There's a whole bunch. So go to truthsocial.com. I guess I'm doing an ad for him, but whatever. Go to Donald Trump's section, and there's a butt ton of stuff. So please, for wherever you're at, if you're not sure who you should vote for, please do that. Because frankly, it sounds horrible, but I'm more interested in following what Trump kind of thinks. Now, locally, I know what's up. I don't have an option. I've met the lady, personally met her, shook her hand, have her assistant's business card. Whatever. I've never bugged her, though. She's Asian, but she's not attractive. She's weird. Yeah, I know. Something about these nasty, gross politicians here in California. Cheater. James Comey, John Bolton, Letitz James. This is political retribution, she asks.
James Comey, John Bolton, Letitia James were all recently indicted. There's a pattern to these names. They're all public figures who have publicly denounced you. Is it political retribution?
You know what? You know who got indicted? The man you're looking at. I got indicted, and I was innocent. And here I am because I was able to beat all of the nonsense that was thrown at me. And yet, when you go after a dirty cop like Comey, or a guy like Bolton, who I hear I don't know anything about it. I hear he took records all over the place. Who knows? Letitia James is a terrible, dishonest person, in my opinion.
Did you instruct the Department of Justice to go after them?
Not in any way, shape, or form. No, you don't have to instruct them because they were so dirty, they were so crooked, they were so corrupt that the honest people we have, Pam Bondi's doing a very good job. Kash Patel's doing a very good job. The honest people that we have go after them automatically.
But in a Truth Social post from September addressed to Attorney General Pam Bondi, President Trump endorsed the idea that former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James were, quote, guilty as hell, and wrote, quote, justice must be served now. 5 days later, James Comey was indicted. He pled not guilty, and so did Letitia James and President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. Is this retribution on your part?
No, it's the opposite. I think I've been very mild-mannered. You're looking at a man who was indicted many times, and I had to beat the rap. Otherwise, I couldn't have run for president. They tried to get me not to run for president by going after me and by indicting me.
Beat the rap. I like it. Dude talks like he's been in the pen, you know? He's probably got a tat somewhere. You know he does. Got some sort of crazy jail tat. Trump, truth this out. Terminate the filibuster, not just for the shutdown, but for everything else. We will get all of our common sense policies approved. Voter ID, anyone? And make America great again. Remember, the Democrats will do it immediately, as soon as they get the chance. Our doing it will not give them the chance. Republicans, be tough and smart. And the Dems are crazed lunatics. They will not open up our country, no matter how many people are irreparably harmed. I think this is a threat. I'm starting to think. I brought it up again because Trump's bringing it up again. I think this is a threat to the Dems. Like, open up or else. We'll do it. Fuck it. All right. Well, own your shit. And then what? We've got the majority. We're going to just do everything we want. You will never win another election again. Not because we cheat like you, but because we'll actually make elections fair, and we'll realize you only represent less than 20% of the population, not anything close to what you've portended to us. Trump tariff deal with China opens the door for Operation Warp Speed 2.0, which they're heavy metal earth, the special earth, rare earths, whatever the hell, right? That's what it's all about. They're like, hey, we got to get them quicker, which they are. It seems like there was a 1-year extension with China, by the way. 1-year extension for the rare earth thing they were trying to put into place, and China's like, all right. Because we're probably like, otherwise you don't get any chips, dude. Fuck off. We're not going to give you any chips at all unless you... We do have some negotiating abilities, and that's what Trump knows. And that's not really being talked about publicly on our side of the fence because China knows it, and we don't need to necessarily just brag about it, right? But we are going to brag about something, and it's kind of funny. I can't wait to show the image. We're doing a test, a nuclear test. And where the area is that we're going to strike is placed in a cool place, I guess. Energy Department announces $100 million in funding to refurbish U.S. coal plants. So, yeah, we're all about energy right now. We're going to make it where we can. We're going to do it where we can. I got yelled at last time. I didn't talk about somebody that was, like, I don't know, famous in the community that I didn't even know. I didn't even know them, by the way, and I got in trouble. Someone's like, I can't believe you haven't covered this. And I saw the stories. I just didn't know the person. I don't know this guy either, unfortunately. You guys probably do, so I'm sorry. I'm ignorant to many things, frankly. But President Trump has responded to Scott Adams' plea for help accessing the newly FDA-approved drug Pluvicto amid delays for his rapidly declining metastatic prostate cancer. So Trump said he's on it. I saw a number of tweets that came around like, well, how can we get a hold of you? I think it was Kennedy was trying to get a hold of him. So whatever the case is, they're trying to hook him up. Blackburn demands Judge Boasberg testify before Senate panel. His name matters in a lot of ways. He's been one of the crazy district judges of late as well. But back then, He's the one that allowed Jack Smith to do just insane, crazy stuff. And in the case of Blackburn, which he's pissed about, is the no knock or whatever. I don't know what they call it. What basically Verizon had to give the records, and they couldn't tell the person, hey, the government's asking for your records. We're just gonna give them to them. Like a courtesy, like, hey, you just got fucked, right? Like they didn't get that. They didn't even know. They got, well, that's kind of, it's like you got drugged and then something happened. You wake up and you're like, why am I sore? This is weird. I don't remember anything. Not that I know these things. Seattle paying up to 53% more than national average for gasoline. Welcome, guys. You're getting close to our prices. I like it. I think I'm about 40 cents above you right now, but you're getting there. Good job. Seattle, well, not Seattle because it's got the Space Needle, but whatever, Yeah. Washington State, the average jumps to $4.38 per gallon. Good job, Washington. This is what it's like to suck. They like trucks up there too, which is kind of funny. They buy them because they're cheaper. Got them all over the damn place. Everyone's got a truck. Everyone drives a truck. Shoot, got a truck. What is that, a truck? Is that a full-size truck? What's it got in there? That is, they're super expensive to drive when gas gets expensive, so it's awesome. Oregon is using satellites to hunt small farms, apparently. Here's something. I'm not playing all 4 minutes of that. Apparently, farmer Justin Rhodes says the state redefined CAFO. I don't know, calf around and find out. I don't know if that's what that is. Cattle around and find out, maybe. So 3 cows and a milking stand, I guess, counts as a factory farm. Cease and desist letters, 100K upgrades, probably raw milk too. They really hate raw milk. Family farms shut down. This is probably natural, grass-fed. Yeah, they're doing that kind of stuff in Oregon. So the whole West Coast, we got covered today. We're all doing stupid shit, and it's not working. Illinois passes law preventing ICE arrests in courthouses. It's not legal. Don't worry. And again, like the department of whatever the shit, it's going to be like, that's not legal. Pam Bondi be like, suck my left titty, right? You're not even worthy of the right. It's slightly bigger. It's awesome. I'm not going to give it to you. Democrat running Chicago, at least 23 shot Friday. Just saying, in Chicago, 23 people shot dead over the weekend, but everything's cool, man. It's mostly peaceful out there, man. Just don't go into those areas. Mayor Muriel Bowser, she's now enacting juvenile curfew in Washington, D.C. Why? Because the National Guard that Trump placed there is no longer there. They're now in charge of their own situation, and crime, once again, especially juvenile crime, has started to get out of control already. And what's going to happen, ultimately, I'm going to tell the future on this one probably, is Muriel Bowser's not going to be able to get it under control. Trump's going to bring the National Guard in once again, and that will be the point when we take Washington, D.C. away from the mayor, and it becomes what it should be. And maybe that'll be after the filibuster happens. Who knows? That's just one more thing to freak Democrats out about. Can you imagine how much crap we could get accomplished here in the next short period of time, especially with all the gerrymandering we've done? I'll say it. I don't care. You guys do it too. We finally started doing it, so I'm not going to feel bad about it. It's cool. Yeah, we gerrymandered all over your face. That's what we did. Shoot. FDA's top drug regulator quits as the agency officials probe actions. Yeah, it's kind of weird. This is somebody that Kennedy put in, and Dr. George Tidmarsh. Marsh for sure. He was named the FDA post in July, was placed on leave Friday after officials in the Department of Health and Human Services Office of General Counsel were notified of the issues. Yes, what are the issues? Abruptly resigned. Federal officials began reviewing serious concerns about his personal conduct. Wow. Damn. Well, I mean, I just want to know now. I'm an inquiring mind. They don't tell us so. Lawsuit was brought by Arena Pharmaceuticals? Let's see, Aura. Whatever, it's my fault. I can't help myself. UK, oh my God. First off, yes, Ricky Gervais did a couple things that are worth the time. First, this commercial, hysterical, and then I'm going to have him talking about how fucked up England is right now. I think he uses the C word, which I've dropped about 47 F-bombs today. But he's going to use the C word, so if that's really offensive to you or you've got kids that can't handle real life, you might want to mute things. But that said, here's Ricky Gervais, and this is funny. They apparently don't like it. Don't forget your stab vest. Don't forget your stab vest. And he's selling alcohol. This is Dutch Barn. It's a vodka. He's selling this. I'm actually going to try to buy some because I like Ricky Gervais and the fact that he's constantly just throwing the middle finger up. And he's in England, so he's probably going to get arrested at some point. I don't know. I think he lives here in the States right now. Maybe. I don't know. He might be back. He might be in England. I don't know how he's getting away with this, but they don't like it. And they don't like him. So, yes, don't forget your stab vest. Because, I mean, if you go to England, by the way, if you got to travel to England, you might want to look up stab vest. I don't know if you maybe want to get the stab vest when you're there, because maybe it's got like a plug-in thing and you want to make sure it's got the right, you know. You can get the adapter, but it always doesn't work quite right. I mean, just maybe it's worth buying there. I don't know. Maybe you go with a little extra. This is my stab vest money in this envelope. This shouldn't count towards the 10,000 or whatever you can travel with, right? He's like, no, this is my stab vest cash. I need that. There's this guy, I know him. He's behind a dumpster. He's got great vests. Whatever. England, what is going on with you guys? It's a mess. Whoops.
Right. I am fucking sick and tired of the powers that be banning my fucking billboards and adverts for Dutch Barn. Sometimes there's just nothing wrong with them, right? One that was meant for the tube station just had me having a drink and it just said, one day you'll be underground for good. That was it. They went, no, can't have that, because it might make people think, oh, because life's short, we should drink to excess. Who's fucking thinking that? Oh my God. Cowardly fucking cunts. Do you think it's my attitude? Oh, but you can't win because, right, you're not allowed to say alcohol's good for you or it does this or it makes you feel confident or it makes you feel attractive, which is fine. I went the other way. There was one advert I was reading from my laptop from government websites just saying about all the dangers of alcohol. They went, no, we don't like that. Do you know why? Because they don't like the truth either, because that puts off other advertisers, you know? Fuck me. Honestly. So this is what we're going to do. Fuck them, okay? I'm going to sell directly to you. Go to the website, right? Sign up for our mailing list as well, and you can win a year's supply of Dutch Barn. Also, we save donkeys. So, save donkeys, fuck censors, Dutch Barn.
Yeah, get zero fucks, I think, really. Is again, I don't know if his vodka's any good. I'm not necessarily promoting it, though. I kind of want to just, I don't know. I kind of want somehow to help him be richer. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Internal whistleblower memo claims BBC edited footage of Trump, his January 6th speech, by splicing footage together to mislead viewers in a documentary aired last year. Let's see what this is.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Huh. It's like they took out the fact that he didn't want to just go straight to fighting. Interesting how that works. But Trump said, yeah, see, they've lied to so many people. It's a weird struggle that we all have, folks. A lot of shit with Venezuela. Here's a reporter asking a stupid question, which, well, frankly, is always entertaining.
You said that it's not true that you've made a decision on striking in Venezuela. Are there actual plans for those strikes in the near future?
Well, how can I answer a question like that? Are there plans for a strike on Venezuela? Who would say that? Supposing there were, would I say that to you? We have very secret plans. Who would say that? You know, what kind of a question is it? Look, we'll see what happens with Venezuela. Venezuela sent us thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people from prisons, from mental institutions, drug addicts, and so did other countries. That's the bad. I mean, other countries did it too, because we were run by very stupid people, very, very stupid people. Biden was the worst president in the history of our country by far. We had open borders, and many countries, the Congo, many countries, they sent their prisoners. They sent prisoners They sent drug dealers. They sent drug addicts. They sent anybody that they didn't want. They sent them through our country. And Venezuela was one of the worst abusers.
Yeah. Trump never minces words when it comes to how he feels about you. If you're good, he says you're good. If you're bad, he's got a nickname for you, possibly. U.S. is amassing 16,000 troops off the Venezuelan coast, says the WAPO. So, take that for what it's worth. We're getting it in RT News, which makes me feel it's a little better. But that's about 10,000 soldiers, 6,000 sailors. I think some of the soldiers might be maybe on the island that is involved, which we'll get to in a second. I'm forgetting exactly which. Puerto Rico, I think. But we've got some troops deployed in the area that can very quickly move in if necessary. Now, here's one of the images. It might be hard to see a little bit, but we've got a few different sets of data. So we've got this group of ships, and these are, USNS, I think United States Naval Ship or something like that. It's basically supply ships. So USNS, these are supply ships, fuel ships, parts and shit like that. You got these, obviously carrier doesn't just flow around by itself with a couple destroyers and just be like, and they got a bunch of tugboats running with them too. Frankly, tug's not the right word, but they got a bunch of support stuff. Also, all that support stuff's like over here by Puerto Rico, where it can very easily be involved. Stuff can very easily move in. They're probably resupplying. They're probably doing a lot of flights in and out of Puerto Rico right now, too. A lot of flights. Dude, we're getting ready for some serious shit, and they are offloading, onloading, all sorts of cool stuff. B-1 bombers are running along the coast, supposedly, even though Trump's like, no, we're not doing that. B-52s as well, because why not? Reaper drones, we've got those flying in, probably based out of Puerto Rico as well. And they can loiter in international waters and scan way the hell in, because they can fly really high. And God bless them if they shoot down one of our drones. That just wouldn't be so funny. It kind of would. And then over here, 3. This is all of our like destroyers and shit, like the heavy duty, our Aegis cruisers, the Tomahawk cruise missiles, just gobs of offensive, like even cannons that can shoot many miles. If they want to just bombard something, just be douche hole, old school, like, dude, we got a bunch of old shells. Let's use them. They got some fortifications that are within range. Let's knock them bastards out of Dodge, right? So again, this is interesting. Now, what I think is equally important to point out, one, we've got the sudden problem with Colombia too, which again, they are equally bad, I'm sure, for all the same reasons. Drug lords, cartels. This is important. Most important thing, though, we've got people, this is the Caribbean side, right? We've got people over on the Pacific side. This is the Panama Canal right here. This little spot right above Colombia over here, this little like growth off Colombia. That's Panama Canal. Why do you think we got so much force in one area at one time? We're not wasting the opportunity, and if not, it can loiter for a little while, but my guess is we've got some solid intel that suggests that China wants to move on Taiwan. They might have talked about it. We, in fact, know that there's relationships that have been built with Hegseth. I think I get to that here in a second. But Trump talking about Maduro and whether or not he's going to stay president, many are saying the answer would be no.
Are Maduro's days as president numbered?
I would say, yeah. I think so, yeah.
And this issue of potential land strikes in Venezuela, is that true?
I don't tell you that. I mean, I'm not saying it's true or untrue, but I wouldn't.
Why would we
be inclined to say that I would do that. But because I don't talk to a reporter about whether or not I'm going to strike.
Yeah, I think I already played this part, but nonetheless, a longer version of it. It's just such a stupid question. So where exactly are we coming in? It was like the airplane movie, right? Where we'll be coming in at 500 hours below the radar from the north. What time will you be back? I can't tell you. That's classified, right? Like, it was just stupid. It's ridiculous. This is essentially them being stupid and ridiculous. Now, here's a funny thing. Here's a funny little gotcha. Mississippi law enforcement officers caught working with Mexican cartels. A bunch of people arrested. A bunch of them are officers. Uh-oh. Did we just catch a bunch of them?
But we're here today to talk about some incredibly serious allegations that mark it's just a monumental betrayal of public trust. That's what we're talking about here today. We're here today to announce the indictment and arrest of 20 individuals, most of them law enforcement officers in the Mississippi Delta region. The indictments generally allege the taking of bribes to attempt to aid and abet drug trafficking, as well as associated crimes. The first indictment that I'll talk about involves a conspiracy whereby law enforcement officers and their accomplices are alleged to have agreed to provide safe passage for illegal narcotics and drug proceeds to the Mississippi Delta region, and ultimately on the last of those runs into Memphis itself. And they did this in return for bribe payments, for money. They are also indicted for related firearms offenses and, of course, individual counts related to specific runs throughout the Mississippi Delta.
Oh, it kills me. Says that twice. So this is what this show is now inspired by. I've already pulled all my music. I haven't recorded it yet, but I pulled all my music for the Friday show. If you guys want to join, I've got a great group of people that show up. It's at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I guess 5 Central and 4 Mountain time. That said, there is it's going to be, they keep saying Mississippi Delta shining like the national guitar. Like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm doing Graceland, the song, I'm doing a poor job of it, don't get me wrong. But Paul Simon, it's the inspiration song, because that's one of the songs. I was in a bar with my buddies, like we're watching football games, when someone got a hold of the jukebox and it was just playing like 80s tunes, and it was just so nice. Like, I was in a bummer kind of mood. It was my one day off, though, so it was my place. I'm like, all right, God, I'm putting a lot in your hands. I know. Jesus, take the wheel. And I went in, and he had my hand. He had my hand the whole time. It was beautiful. Beautiful. Actually, made me tear up at one point because it was such a good song. So I am sharing some of that with you this Friday. I'm going to be sharing some of that experience. It was so good. So good. I got great music pulled. You guys are going to love it. You got to show up. Check it out. That said, Mississippi Delta, shining like a national guitar. Ooh, everybody knows. Whatever. I know I'm horrible at singing. Everybody feels the wind blow. It's such a good song, especially when it's sung by like actual Paul Simon. Not mess it up, Dan. Yeah. Anti-cartel mayor. He was gunned down in cartel-controlled Mexican state. Guys, this whole thing was Shine Bomb. First off, just Shine Bomb as the president. Says so many things. If she ever was in agreement with Trump and the cartels and stuff like that, she would immediately be killed, immediately. So everything that's going to happen, and likely soon, because we've got a lot of craft that are likely, I think, going to be joined maybe by some more stuff, because we're not going to worry about other parts of the world maybe right now. We'll be like, you know what, y'all can just fuck off, basically. All right? And we'll see. But yeah, Mexican mayor gunned down by the cartel, because that's how they roll. Keep that in mind. Pete Hegseth was talking to Donald Trump and this Nigerian government. If they continue to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns ablazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet. Just like the terrorist thugs attacks our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast. And of course, Hegseth's like, yes, sir, killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and anywhere must be an end immediately. The Department of War is preparing for action. Either the Nigerian government protects Christians, or we will kill the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. Here is a little bit of discussion happening with our good friend, Ambassador Mike Waltz, dropping some truth nukes, as they call them here, which I think is fitting.
78 countries, 330 million Christians being persecuted around the world. It is the most persecuted religion across the Middle East and Africa and elsewhere. And to your point, relative silence from the international community. It is in the UN Charter as a basic human right. It's one of the things that Nicki Minaj is going to come over, and we're going to have her talk to the UN, talk to our experts, and actually hear from some of these pastors and others that have been so horribly persecuted. And I really welcome her engagement and her spotlight.
It is funny because she just recently had a little discussion with Duffy No, that was Kim Kardashian. But Nicki Minaj has recently made a statement. I forget what it was. She said something kind of pro, like, let's stop being dicks to everybody. Let's stop the killing. Let's stop dying in wars. Something cool. She broke from ranks a little bit. And that's interesting because, again, I think there's a lot of people that are guilty of a lot of things and are being allowed to come forward and do the right thing. And again, I love these questions, but, I ask a lot of people, I'm like, does that bother you that they're going to have an opportunity? Like, they've been on Epstein's plane and done horrible things, but they have a chance to do good and change and actually help humanity. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Should they still be able to be shamed and ruined? Essentially, because that would destroy what they're trying to do for good, right? It would ruin them as an individual. And I think there's a lot of people that just want people ruined. And I don't think that's very positive, very loving. I don't know. I don't want to say like the CH word, right? But that's kind of not very Christian. And I think, first off, that's God's business with that individual, and it's not really our place to judge. And I think so many of us, tried to play that again. Nigerian president responds to Trump's call for military action against Christian persecution. But he's like, I don't know if there's anything going on, but just, we love your help. Go ahead, help us out as long as you understand, we got our own little integrity, territorial integrity. Like, just don't bomb anybody on our land. It's kind of what I read, or don't bring troops on. I don't exactly know what that means legally. Territorial integrity. If any of you guys know, put that in the chat wherever you are. Wherever you are, put that in the chat and let people know what the hell that word means, or those words mean. I could have looked them up, but I don't want to get into the debate. I'm already long enough as it is. This is happening, though. This is happening. Christians are dying, which is kind of weird, Pete Hegseth, I just spoke with President Trump. We agree the relationship between the United States and China has never been better. Following President Trump's historic meeting with Chairman Xi and South Korea, and I had an equally positive meeting with my counterpart, China's Minister of National Defense, Admiral Dong Jun, in Malaysia, and we spoke again last night. The Admiral and I agree that peace, stability, and good relations are the best path for our two great nations, two great and strong countries, whatever. As President Trump said, his historic G2 meeting set the tone for everlasting peace and success for the U.S. and China. The Department of War will do the same. Peace through strength, mutual respect, and positive relations. Admiral Dong and I also agreed that we should set up military-to-military channels to de-conflict and de-escalate any problems that arise. We have more meetings on the coming soon. God bless both China and the U.S. There's a few ways to read this. A couple in particular that I'm thinking. One, China's about to take Taiwan, and we're not going to do a damn thing about it, and we're going to have this discussion, and they're going to have some sort of optics to be able to play it out to the American people why we can't necessarily stop this, right? And maybe that just plays out. Maybe it's done and quickly. But we've also got, I think Trump went in there and basically said, look, here's the deal. Here's what we technologically can do. Here's what we've got some capabilities of. You don't have any of this shit. We know you don't have any of this shit because we know everything that you have. We need your help on some things, so we've given you some technology so you could get up to speed. That's the rocket technology and stuff like that. We've got something coming in the next number of years. We need and needed certain countries on this planet that have the means to have the technology so they could take care of and help us do this. So India, Iran, making a lot of the rocket stuff. China, Russia, United States, making the important parts, hard parts, super technical parts. We've got something we're working towards. It seems to be playing out. The deep state's saying what they're saying, and that's where a lot of the knowledge and information, especially even a lot of the content creators on our side of the fence, that's where a lot of the topics come from, is from the deep state. They get us talking about stuff that really has nothing to do with anything, like I started off with when I got my rants going. But still, one of the stupidest things is who's going to be the next president. Who fucking cares? Not right now, anyways, I should say. I care a lot in the big picture, sure, but not right. No. bigger problems going on. So we're doing a nuclear test. And I saw an article earlier when Trump's like, we're going to do a nuclear test. And then someone's like, yeah, it's going to take us months to be able to do that. I think they were thinking of us putting it in the ground. They might actually, no. He's like, no, we're actually going to create a nuclear explosion in a place that's going to be viewable by people that want to get stupid and get close to it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to launch out of Vandenberg, which is cool because that's kind of close to me. I like that. If I actually know the time, I'll be like, if it's clear too, especially, I'll be able to see it. But yeah, this Kwajalein Atoll. There's some atoll out there, or an atoll. I think is how you're supposed to say it. Whatever. Boom, nuke. And we just want to make sure, our nukes work, and 2, our ICBMs are awesome, just like we think. Now, if a missile goes up out of the atmosphere and then comes back down, when it's up and going back down, it starts to go super fast. Well, they're not really in orbit. This is pretty close shot. This one's not like, if you're trying to shoot it across, because they pick up a lot of speed when they get out, So they could be doing many, many times the speed of sound. Whatever the case is, I think the United States wants to demonstrate, all you guys made these things that we can't shoot down. Let me show you what we got. Our shit like breaks into multiples, and then they're all like, wah, 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 and they're making noises, and they're like doing like 3 letters on the, right? Like they're doing crazy stuff. That's happening. So again, just relax. Now, England, just want to say, hey, you got any British friends? To my friends out there, love you, man. It was nice knowing you. I mean, you guys are toast. Yeah, you're gonna die. Any of you that live near water, probably. They've supplied many more of these storm shadow missiles, or the Scalp, it seems to be, to attack further. Now, the range isn't that far, but it's enough to get into Russia. It's about 155 miles. It's not that far, by the way. So, man, but you guys are kind of being silly willies over there, England, and you gave a bunch of them. Maybe they're getting paid. I don't know how you guys worked your deal over there, whatever. England's doing some crazy stuff. Russia is like, yeah, hey, check it out. We launched this new nuclear submarine. It specifically was built, I'll probably say it wrong, Khabarovsk, I don't know. It was designed to carry these Poseidon drones. These are the drones. These drones are little mini submarines, essentially, that have no people in them. And these drones have a nuclear weapon that's quite large, in fact, and it is capable, depending especially how used, to create tsunamis. Now, tsunamis a lot of times are just pressure waves, how the explosion works, right? One of the things, 9/11, just the shape charges, they think they used around the pillars, right? And they're charges that essentially have metal kind of at an angle on one side, and it forces the explosion, or at least makes the explosion make it easier to go in a certain direction. And by doing that, you can shape the direction of the charge or explosion. So this is what you can do with a nuclear weapon if you park it underneath an atoll, or some weird atoll, or some sort of weird outcropping of land. You can cause even further with destroy the land, like kind of what happened with Fukushima. They took down and created the tsunami with likely something similar to this. So these things are could be done very easily, and it would be very hard to know for sure that it was Russia. You'd probably know. But there's really no way to stop them. And the reason is because not the submarine, the regular submarine with people is like a normal submarine. But these devices, these Poseidons, these are torpedoes, and they're nuclear powered, so they can operate forever. They can operate for years. They've got guidance, they've got the abilities to come to the surface if they need to and get further information. They can program for that. They can park in an area if necessary and come and check every once in a while. But these things can go to depths that people subs can't, that we don't put they call SOSUS, our little microphones, don't go that deep. Now, maybe we'll change that, but we probably are for sure. But we've got quite a SOSUS network, but not that deep. This thing goes below them. So again, this is a concern. England, it was again nice knowing you. You guys are cool. I enjoy having beers with you. Never know when you're mad, though. Sorry. Mainstream continues turning on Zelensky. It's kind of weird. Politico is even sort of attacking him, which is kind of strange. Like they're finally maybe about ready to kill this war. It seems like even the deep state is kind of starting to turn on Zelensky at this point. They're talking about his failures and everything. It's not worth getting into all the bullshit. October has marked the high point for Russian missiles fired on Ukraine, in case you weren't aware, but it's the most ever, up 46% from last month. 270 missiles in October. Yay. They won an award, probably got a ribbon, participation ribbon, you know? They fired apparently 5,000, basically 5,300 long-range drones at Ukraine in October. It's like, holy crap. That's a lot of drones, right? Like, can you imagine if that was like happening, like you lived like in Mexico, and all of a sudden Mexico decides to shoot like a drone attack. And you're just like, fuck, I just saw like hundreds of drones flying over my house. Like that, yeah, that'd freak you out a little bit, wouldn't it? I think. Russian forces cut Ukrainian military supply line. They blow up a bridge. Kind of a cool video. I think we got it here. The music's crazy, so... Anyway, they blew up a base. They're surrounded over there. Putin was pointing it out, and this is just more of that demonstration. This war needs to stop. It's very sad. PM Netanyahu, Trump talking about him and how he's a talented guy.
He's fine. He's fine. Look, he's a wartime prime minister. I worked very well with him. Yeah, I mean, I had to push him a little bit one way or the other. I think I did a great job in pushing him. He's a very talented guy. He's a guy that has never been pushed before, actually. That's the kind of person you needed in Israel at the time. It was very important. I don't think they treat him very well. He's under trial for some things that I don't think they treat him very well. I think it should, you know, we'll be involved in that to help him out a little bit because I think it's very unfair. I did. I pushed him. I didn't like certain things that he did, and you saw what I did about that. I also stopped, you know, we knocked the hell out of Iran, and then it was time to stop, and we stopped.
I think that's Trump's attempt to kind of talk about, especially within our own ranks, the whole Israel owns him. I don't think they do. I think the deep state, which was that component of Israel, like first off, just to put fairness on it, they definitely don't rule the roost anymore. And Trump is calling it out. That's all there is to it. The huge play, Jaguars kicker Cam Little. I like American football. I love it. Jaguars kicker Cam Little just connected on a 68-yard field goal, the longest in NFL history. And yeah, I know it's fake. It doesn't even matter to me. It's like wrestling. I enjoyed watching that too back in the day.
68 yards away. It's up there. It's out there. And it's good! It's good from 68!
68 yards, man. That is awesome. That reminds me of that guy. I think was it 13 inches? Was it 13? Anyway, it was the way his iPad was named, apparently. And it just always made me laugh. You know, it's like, yeah, 13 inches. You just like throw it out on the table just everywhere you go because, dude... What else do you do with it? It's like that Kiss singer, the guy, or the bass player or whatever, that puts his tongue out all the time. I mean, when you got it, man. Show it. Antaril's, I'm sure I said that wrong, so I said it fast and just acted like I said it right. Antaril's YFQ 44 Fury fighter drone has flown. Wow, you see all that weirdness going on in that title? Painful, I know. So this is a pilotless aircraft. This is one of the things that's supposed to come with the new F-47, by the way. They're not really necessarily painting that picture in this, but it is part of that concept. F-47 goes up with drones. They go a distance, and you know these guys are carrying all sorts of crazy weaponry, or can go in and do far more dangerous stuff, while the other plane can kind of loiter out further and maybe use different weapons, whatever. So this is one of the options, is the YFQ-44, or what they're calling, still in the testing phase. Again, I don't know. They don't have any other stuff. It's just flying around. It's flying with a chase plane. I don't know. It's kind of cool. This is the other one, by the way, the YFQ-42 fighter drone collaborative combat aircraft. This is the other company that got an opportunity to make one. Again, kind of crazy looking, right? I don't know. Curious. It's kind of large, but again, you might get both of them. Because what would you do? Is this the other one? Oh, this looks like the other one. How cool is that? That's cool. That's a cool picture. That would, like, back when I was younger, that would have been like, I'd put that up on the wall, big poster. Not that I would necessarily have it on a screen like this, but if I could find it and buy it. Still cool stuff. Sorry, I love that shit. All right, the final story here. What was this one? This was, officials, intentional explosion rocks Harvard Medical School. 4th floor. They were doing repairs up in this Goldenson building, which I actually kind of wanted to look it up. Any of you guys got time? I'm curious. What's in the 4th floor of the Goldenson building? What teachers are they? What classes did they teach? I'd be very, very, very curious. What was up there? What were they hiding? What were they trying to steal and then create a problem? Like, this was a diversion. It didn't do super damage, but it did some damage. So this was a diversion. I'm very curious what was up on that 4th floor that they were doing remodeling on at Harvard, who we know right now, Ivy Loeb, like this dude, like Harvard's in the middle of so much deep state shit right now, guys. So much. They are, in fact, I would say, it's funny, we talk about Yale and stuff with the skull and bones or whatever, but Harvard, I think they're like way worse. Way worse. They're the ones. They're just like, nah, we're already Harvard. You want to have something cool, skull and bones? All right, we'll give that to you, because otherwise no one knows who you are. So they I don't know, guys. You decide. Put in the comments what you think. Hey, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. I'm supposed to say that in videos. I'm not supposed to wait this long to do it, but whatever. Hey, you guys, please check out, where's she at? Yeah, we got the lady with the merch. I'm not finding the merch link. That's unfortunate. I don't know her email. True Thread, there it is. It's huge. On the Fringe, DRS, Truth Threads at gmail.com. On the Fringe, DRS, Truth Threads at gmail.com. Just trying to help someone out that's going through a bit of a hard time. She's got some merchandise. She's got some inventory. Just say what size you are as far as a shirt or whatever, and see what she's got. She can hit you back up with prices and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. You can be a proud patriot, all sorts of great stuff. And anyway, all said. On the Fringe, DRS, Truth Threads, gmail.com. She'll probably just send you a link back of a video, and you can watch that and get an idea, and then tell her. So easy way to go. But yeah, trying to help out a friend in that one. All said. I love you guys. We're changing this world, and it's been a fun, bumpy road, man. That's all I can say. I love it. It's like a roller coaster. It's fun. It's fun as hell, and I keep it like, yeah, let's do it again. Like, I don't know if I'm like at a Guinness Book of World Records. Like, how many times can you go on this same roller coaster in a row? And I'm like, about to find out. Yes, sir. So here we go. One more round. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. Where we go one, we certainly freaking go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.